Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. One of the most common questions I get is how can I make money with my camera? And believe it or not, right now is probably one of the best times for photographers because almost every brand currently needs consistent web and social media content. This is actually what I did for about 5 years at a shoe store here in Atlanta. So at the end of the video, we're going to talk more of the business side of this, some tips for client acquisition, some things to keep in mind. But for now, we're going to go over 5 photos you can use with most potential clients so you can start getting paid for product and lifestyle photography today. This is literally a cheat sheet for y'all, so do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. First photo is a flat lay. This is one of the most versatile product and lifestyle photos out there. The first reason is it looks really cool and it's very clean, and it's something that always gets a lot of love on social media. Clients love this shot. But aside from that, it also helps convey the story and sell products. When I was doing shoe photography, a lot of times we would pair up a shoe with potential accessories like socks and jewelry, so that way if someone saw the photo on social media or in an email, they might be more inclined to buy a second item with the shoes. Now in our Lego example today, this is more of an example of storytelling and showing the process of putting this project together. The second photo is what I call an action candid. So if we were photographing shoes, this would be a photo of someone putting a shoe on or pulling it out of the box. Something with action that showcases the product outside of its actual use. Let's say it was a sweatshirt. This wouldn't be a photo of someone wearing the sweatshirt. It would be something like them putting it on or taking it out of the closet. You want to think of this photo as a storytelling tool, something to showcase a product in a less obvious way to where a customer can relate to potentially owning it. Now photo 3 can be used throughout a shoot. It doesn't just have to be during the progress. It can be at the end, it can be at the beginning, doesn't really matter, and that is a macro photo. Now up until this point, we've been using 24mm because photo 1 and 2 had a more lifestyle type look to them. But now we're going to go ahead and put on a 105 macro lens, which is going to allow us to get fine details. Now detail photos once again look great on Instagram stories, they look great in emails, and they also do a good job of teasing potential products. So in the past, something we've done is had product that wasn't going to release for maybe a couple weeks, so we would do a tight detailed macro shot of something on the particular product, share that on social media kind of to build hype for the potential launch down the line. Now with macro photos, it's important to remember to keep your aperture high so you can capture all the detail. It's also better to do macro photography with a tripod. I kind of cheated in today's video just to make it easier, but you're going to get a cleaner result if you use a tripod. And if you're photographing small products, a macro lens is a great investment to make, but you can also get away with using a 70-200 lens. I did that for years. Now photo 4 is a basic product shot. I always enjoy grabbing some colored paper to use as a backdrop for these, but depending on the product, you can make the decision of what you think the best backdrop would be. A good example of this is maybe you're photographing a bag that's intended for outdoor use. Colored paper might not be the best backdrop. It might make more sense to find a natural backdrop like some rocks or some natural texture. But for our example today, I really like the way the truck pops against this orange and blue paper. And it's even better if you can get a roll of paper from something like Amazon.com or B&H. It makes the effect much more dramatic. But you can get away with the paper from a craft store like we did today. And the fifth and final photo is what I call the appropriate environment photo. This showcases the product being used in the way it's supposed to be used. So for example, with this Lego set, most people are going to use it as a decoration, so I would make a variety of photos with this Lego set around my apartment. Now let's say your product is some type of clothing item. You would want to photograph your model in a location or an environment that made sense to that particular product, so a customer who's viewing the photo would think, hey, I could see myself wearing that. This makes sense. Essentially, the product is being presented the way it's supposed to be used in the appropriate environment. So briefly, I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. I'm going to assume that if you clicked on this video, you have an interest in the business of photography. One of the easiest ways to set your photography business apart is with a good looking website. Check out how easy it is for me to update the blog page on my website, evanramf.com, and create a post about this video. You don't need any web design experience to take advantage of all the amazing drag and drop templates that Squarespace has to offer. Yesterday, I was actually able to upsell a potential client because I sent them to the portfolio page on my website. Now, y'all know I'm all about helping you out, so there are multiple videos on this channel breaking down different things you can do with websites. I have one that I show you how to do a basic portfolio site, so if you just want to showcase your work for clients, you can do that. If you want to have a website like mine, evanramf.com, you want to have a contact me button, you want to have a portfolio page, a potential blog page, I have a video video on this channel, which I'll link in the description down below that you can check out. And I have a couple other videos down there as well. So if you're trying to build your photography business, give Squarespace a shot, stand out from the competition. You can go to squarespace.com/EvanRamp to start a free trial of Squarespace, build yourself a site, and use code EvanRamp to get 10% off when you're ready to sign up. That's squarespace.com/EvanRamp to start a free trial and use code EvanRamp to get 10% off when you're ready to launch your site. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. So there we go, y'all. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button right now, because building this truck, while a cool idea for this video, took me forever. Your boy completely underestimated how long this was gonna take. So there you go, though. That is a cheat sheet of all the photos you can use when selling yourself to clients. And like I mentioned in the video, there are more and more clients and businesses out there right now that need social media photography. They need Instagram posts, Instagram stories, Twitter, email. That is what I did for 5 years. That's how this video came together, is all those experiences, and I want to share them with you so you can do the exact same thing, because a lot of times people struggle with this idea of, what do I do with my camera to make money if I don't want to go into weddings or headshots? This is something you can do. And here's the thing. As a photographer, you provide value two ways to potential brands. One is obviously with your photos. You can go into a business and pitch everything in today's video and say, hey, I'll make you a bunch of Instagram stories, and you'll probably get a job. But it works even better if you are a photographer who also understands the product and brand and industry that you're making photos in. So for me, I did sneaker photography for about 5 years. Now, before I did that job, I was into sneakers. That's actually how I got the job, is just going around to shoe stores, talking to people, word of mouth, and eventually when a job became available, they contacted me. I was one of the first people they reached out to. And what worked really well with that brand is not only did I know how to make pictures of shoes, I could do my job well, I understood the potential customer for each shoe, and I understood the way to present each shoe in the way that was going to sell it the best. And that is another way that you can provide a lot of value to businesses. So if you have a hobby out there, let's say it's mountain biking. I was actually talking to somebody recently about this. They're getting more into mountain bike photography, and they're getting mountain biking clients. And the reason they're getting these clients is because they mountain bike themselves. It's something they're very familiar with. They understand the industry. They understand the sport. So when this photographer is making photos for these companies, the photos are much better than someone who doesn't understand the sport of mountain biking. If the type of photography you're trying to get into is this more internet marketing, social media space, you're going to find a lot more success working in an industry that you understand, that you're familiar with. So keep that in mind as you start building your portfolio and start looking for potential clients. Choose the path of least resistance. Now, there's a few other little things to keep in mind with product photography like this. One of the most important is the fact that details are everything. I have that video about product photography on this channel you can go check out, but I want to mention this in today's video because I actually messed up one photo. I'm curious if anybody caught it. There's actually a photo with the truck on the blue and orange backdrop where I put my AirPods under the truck to kind of prop it up and give it the right angle, and I completely spaced out and the AirPods are visible in the photo. So I've been doing this a long time, and even I messed up because I got sloppy and wasn't paying attention. So if you're someone just starting out, you're doing your first job with a client, that is one of the most important things you can do, is be hyper detail oriented. The success is going to be in the details. So make sure you don't mess up and do something stupid like me and leave your AirPods out there. If a client catches that, it's not going to look good for you. And another real quick thing I want to talk about is lighting. Obviously, in today's video, I was using an external light source, my Aperture 120D, which is a fantastic light. But when I was doing sneaker photos, I actually didn't have a light there. We didn't have enough storage space for it. So all I did was photograph things outside in a shadow to get nice, even lighting, or I used window light. So don't feel like you have to use, some crazy fancy light or invest a bunch of money into this. There's a lot you can get away with, especially if you're doing social media type packages. Now, obviously, if you want to go the much more traditional product photography route and less of the lifestyle route, you might want to invest in some type of light. It is going to be helpful to you. But for the most part, I think in terms of lifestyle stuff or just the type of things we were doing in today's video, you can get away without investing in a fancy light. And that leads me to the last thing I want to mention in today's video, which is most freelancers overcomplicate this entire process of doing photography and providing marketing material for brands, especially on the social media side side of things. Remember, you are presenting a lifestyle. You're trying to showcase a product in a way that makes sense. So doing photography in a more organic lifestyle type way is actually great for marketing right now. It's funny, my dad actually works in software marketing, and he said he's selling a bunch of packages now that are all based around lifestyle stuff and less around studio work and things like that. So big business understands that lifestyle photos and lifestyle media is a great way to have potential customers see themselves using or being in the brand that's being presented to them. So depending on the type of photography you're into, you can take these skills and kind of blend them together and work with brands to where those skills translate really well. You know, you might be someone who's into street photography and you might work with more streetwear type brands. So you're familiar with potential locations. You're able to go out with models and make photos utilizing architecture or scenes that you already know about with street photography. And most likely, because those skills translate, you are going to stand out amongst your competition because you have all this back-end knowledge. The same thing applies to someone who's into nature and landscape photography. If they work with a company who makes hiking materials, they're already going out and hiking to make these photos. They already know where the good locations are. They know how to photograph nature and things like that. So all they have to do is bring the product into a world they're already familiar with. And once again, they're going to stand out from their potential competition because they have a leg up. Play to your strengths. You can go with the path of least resistance, work with brands that make sense, that you're familiar with, and I guarantee you're going to be able to start getting some of these social media marketing type jobs because they are everywhere. Lately, it seems like all the Patreon coaching calls I've been getting have been about problems like this. People working with these freelance clients, trying to figure out how to negotiate with them, all those different types of things. So this business is continuing to grow as social media gets bigger and bigger, and if you have a camera and you're proficient with photography, it's something you definitely want to try to take advantage of. So if you have questions, drop them below in the comments. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you can take these photos, use them as a little cheat sheet, and get yourself some clients and start getting paid for your photography today. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this one. Y'all are the truth. See you next time.